Hi, I'm Dee, and my son is Aaron Hall, the Sunhead Kid. I first, when I look back, started noticing around 3 years old that Aaron was having some kind of thing, but really only when I look back on it, because at the time it just seemed like just a little kid thing. But he already at that time, when I look back, showed some beginnings of it. Aaron's particular form of OCD is germ related. Germs are what he worries about, getting into him, on him, transferring to him from other people through touch, through inhaling other people's exhaled air. Just all the ways that he thinks of to try to prevent germs getting on him or in him and contaminating him. When it started out, I didn't even realize that's what it was. When he was little, he would just get suddenly distressed and not want whatever was happening. Like if he had to drink after somebody else, you know how you're out, you have all your kids and there's only one water and everybody's thirsty. He would go thirsty rather than drink from everyone else. His restrictions and his concerns got more extreme as time went on. They were really bad by the time he was a teenager, and they affected his relationships with other people in our family because he was worried in a real extreme form.
I want to see Aaron comfortable, and I'm down to do whatever I can to help him achieve that.
He would be worried about stuff that we couldn't figure out. We didn't know that he had OCD. I didn't know. And so his concern seemed like, what? We couldn't figure it out. Well, he asked me one time, I've thought about this when I look back on it, what gets your clothes really the closest to being sterile? When you wash them or when you dry them? And I said, well, I don't know. When you wash them, the soap and water gets stuff off of them, but probably the heat from drying them. But there became a really strong rule about never touching his clothes when they were in the dryer. After his clothes were dried, no one could touch them. It seems like, well, fine, whatever, he can get his own clothes out of the dryer, but the problem became when everybody else in the house is washing and drying their clothes too. So somebody would think, oh, I'll just take his clothes out of the dryer and put my clothes in there. He would have to entirely wash the load of clothes again, starting from the beginning, because they were contaminated. Somebody had put their hands on them. He would wash his bedding every night. He was very concerned about getting cancer. He asked me what cancer looked like, and then he would sometimes get up at night, turn his bedroom light on, and look at his bed looking for anything like that that, you know, might have gotten contaminated on his bed. Aaron has escalated to the point at this time where he doesn't sleep in a bed because the whole bed thing got stronger and stronger and stronger and more anxiety provoking. He just doesn't sleep in a bed. If he has a choice between an empty bed and an empty room and the floor, he'll sleep on a wooden floor. And believe me, it's not with a blanket that someone else might have used either. I'm talking about on the wooden floor he'll sleep instead of in a bed. He had all these food rules that they became more and more restrictive. You know, when I first became aware of the food rules, and it's kind of funny because there were all these clues to it, but it's really only looking back that you put it all together and you go, my goodness, it was clearly obvious. Not only could you not touch his food, but you couldn't touch something that touched his food. Like, we got McDonald's and somebody handed out the hamburgers in the car and he said, no, I can't eat it, because someone had touched the paper that had the hamburger in it. Once he told me that he couldn't eat food that anybody with gray hair fixed. So if anybody cooked food and they had gray hair, he wouldn't eat it. That's the truth. I hate for him to even hear this. But if we were eating and like Aaron would have to run up to the restroom or something for a second, we would take a drink out of his drink just for the satisfaction of knowing that we drank out of his drink and then he drank from it. When he was a kid, he would come into the kitchen when I was cooking dinner and say, did you wash your hands? I told him, I'm not following your rules, I'm not following your food rules, you'll starve to death here. Everything just got more and more restrictive. It's not like if you do one rule that it's fine. Like, oh sure, I'll wash my hands in front of you before I cook. But then it's something else. Do I have any gray hairs? You know, did I exhale after the stuff was already cooked? His anxiety would get so strong when he felt that his health was threatened by it, we went eventually to see a counselor. There was so much friction in our relationship. I didn't really know that he had OCD still. I just knew that he had a germ thing. I called it in my mind. This is about his germ thing. And it just makes him edgy because he's got this germ thing. And so we went and saw this guy. He talked to us together, talked to us separately, said it was not okay for me to make fun of him when stuff like that happened, which obviously it isn't. But he said that Aaron needed to talk to actually probably a psychologist and maybe escalate to somebody with prescriptive powers, a psychiatrist, because he said he sounds like he has OCD, and it's at a pretty high level. I had told him some years before, I think that we should see somebody about this germ thing. And he said, no, it's fine, I can manage it, it's manageable. And I was like, okay. And then he came to me after all that happened and said, I do want to talk to somebody. It's almost all I ever think about. And we ended up with a psychiatrist who prescribed him medicine, which I was always against medicine, but he was in a very bad place with it. He went on medicine for a little bit, and I really felt that it did make it better. But then he said, I lost my pills. And I was like, oh, okay, he had to do without them for a little bit. I went through all this stuff to get more. Then a second time, 6 months later or something, he told me he lost them again. And I said, oh, I found your pills. They were in the cup holder in the car, right where you were sitting. And then he was like, oh. And I said, well, you've been a couple days. I think you should take them. You need to get a level up in your blood and keep it there. And he said, I can't take those pills. And I said, why not? And he said, look at them. And I did. I looked at them, and I was like, what? And then I thought, oh no. In his mind, the pills were also contaminated and couldn't be taken. He feels that way about toilet paper too. There'd always be all this toilet paper in the garbage can, and I was like, this toilet paper is not touched. Why is there keep being all this toilet paper in the garbage can? And I said, why are you throwing away all this toilet paper? And he said, it has blood on it. And I said, show me where the blood is. So he took the toilet paper, looked through every square real carefully, and he showed me the spots on it. If you looked real closely, you could see they were tiny particles of wood. They looked like little tiny splinters and stuff. And I explained to him toilet paper is made out of wood. His mind was never accepting of reason, and I know that he's now escalated to excessive hand washing. The farther he got from home, because we live in Cleveland, the worse his anxiety got. And he called me and said, it's really bad, when he was on his way. And I said, well, if you can't do it, you can't do it, but you got this far. That was brave. And he went ahead and he said, I think that people can't tell, though. I'm keeping it under control. And he went ahead and he went all the way. And he's lived away from home now a couple years. And I admire him a lot for that, because I don't think that's just like a normal person moving away from home. I think it took extreme fortitude for him to do it. I'm going to start crying. Sorry. A lot of fortitude for him to go to LA and live on his own and be in constant unknown situations and contaminated situations and situations that he could not control, and still manage to get through every day on no meds, After he first went out there, it was kind of bad, and I mailed him a guitar, and he said that helped a lot. I always talked to him about praying about it. He did that kind of stuff to, try to relieve it or control it, but over time, it's still gotten worse. And I want him to be comfortable, to be able to sleep and eat, drink out of a cup. I think that, to people it can seem offensive or it can seem weird. And so then he has this worry, hoping people don't take it personally or don't get offended by it or don't not like him because of it. And my youngest son said to me, Sean, who's Aaron's younger brother, Mom, as frustrating as it is for you, think how hard it must be to be him and just always be trying to worry about it. Sometimes when I hear people joke, like they want to maybe wipe off the counters and stuff or something, and they're like, oh yeah, I have to have these counters wiped off, I have OCD. And I think, don't have OCD, you don't have any idea about OCD. It's progressive and it's debilitating, and it rules your life, at least from my viewpoint. And it's not just this lightweight thing of, I like things a certain way, I don't like my food to touch. That's nothing. Aaron can't get out of the house for the day unless everything goes right. He has to use soap that's never been used before. He can only take a shower under certain circumstances. It takes him a long time to go to the bathroom because it's a whole toilet paper nightmare process. OCD is not like a lightweight funny thing of how you like to do stuff really well. It's completely about protecting yourself all the time having anxiety and your mind going constantly, maybe 24 hours a day, I don't know. He's always on guard, hypervigilant.
what goes on my mind usually when this stuff happening is just like a lot of thinking. A lot of people think it's just wash your hands and everything's fine, but no, it's like all day thinking. So like reasons why I want to sleep on a bed, it'd be something like because other people slept down there and you know it might be dirty, nasty, it might be stuff on there that I don't like. My brother and friends will wash clothes and they would ask me, hey Aaron, can we throw a shirt in there? And I would say no, because I don't like when other people wash their clothes with my clothes. That's been a habit for a very long time since I can remember. If somebody gets my clothes out of the dryer and folds them, I'm gonna end up rewashing those clothes. Having OCD anxiety, people think it's just like a easy thing, but it's not. Definitely when it comes to making videos, it takes me about an hour to leave the house to make a video. And I have to do so much stuff. Like today, I had to make sure, I had to keep looking at my underwear, keep looking at my pants, make sure and like, oh, you know what, I can't wear that, I gotta wear this. So I end up putting that on, I'm like, no, I can't wear this. So I put in that, I keep going on for like literally like 20 minutes of me keep switching my clothes to leave the house. I ruined a lot of relationships from having OCD anxiety stuff and not telling them. When they have soap open and I end up opening new soap, they might think like, why is he opening a new soap? But it's like, if I don't open a new soap, my whole day is gonna be pretty much ruined. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. I'd rather just make it easier for myself and open a new soap and just use that so I won't have to think about it all day. The thing is with me, is like it shocks me because no matter what, me moving to LA, like having all this anxiety and OCD and stuff, I don't stop trying. I don't go back home. I don't quit. There's days like I don't want to leave. Like it's too hard for me pretty much. The recycle is so bad that it's like when I try to go out and film, it's just, I don't want to go through this. So I push myself to go out and film a video and stuff because I know I need to and I want to, but it's just sometimes it gets so hard to just film a video. I'll be not wearing the right clothes and it will bother me and I will have to not film that day. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I won't be as happy, my mood will go down. So it's like that whole day has to go correctly and perfect, or things aren't gonna work out well and I'm not gonna get a video out.
We'd be getting ready to go film and then he would say, no, we're not filming anymore, and just like cancel everything. And like that would happen so many times. It was hard for me to just like understand it. So I'd get mad and I'd like go for drives or something because it would just irritate me because I just didn't understand why someone would be like that.
On the train to LA, started like sweating, my chest started hurting, my palms started tingling. I was starting to freak out and I thought I was having either a heart attack or a stroke. I was thinking this could be anxiety or this could be me actually having a heart attack. I remember getting off the train and I was like, okay, I'm fine. It's been like a half an hour. I still haven't had a heart attack or a stroke, so I'm pretty good. I remember texting my friend and saying, hey, can you Uber me? I didn't explain why, but he said no, and I was like, crap, well, I just have to get through this then. Plane rides are the worst for me. It's because like, I remember I was on a plane ride to Florida. It was so bad. It was so bad, like my stomach was sucking in. Like I literally, my jaw became numb. I could barely move my mouth. I could barely move my fingers. Some of my fingers were too stiff to move. And I remember like, I was so worried like what's gonna happen like, to me on this plane. Then I remember getting off the plane, I was like, okay, it's still happening. My mouth won't move well right now. I'll take deep breaths, you're fine. Praying about it is a big thing. I'll keep praying about it and let things work on its own. And I'm definitely never gonna let it affect my videos. One thing that helps me with anxiety and OCD is making videos because it helps me think about other things. When I'm out filming a video, it helps me out with this OCD anxiety stuff, and eating too, it helps me out a lot. And I'll have friends say to me like, why is your clothes there? I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. It's just like, if I don't put my clothes there, I'm not gonna be able to wear those clothes and I'm gonna have to rewash them. I don't want to ruin relationships with friends and people because of this. I feel like, I mean, it could be helped, but I feel like I can't help it. So when I'm doing certain things around people's houses, or you know, not using their shower and not using a towel, I'm not trying to be like the gross or disrespectful. I'm just trying to get out of the house pretty much so I can just go film a video and live my life, sort of thing. I'm just very happy that I haven't gave up on my goals and my dreams. This controls a lot of it, but I haven't stopped, and I won't stop. I encourage a lot of you guys who have a dream and have this problem and it's controlling you guys, just don't let it control you. This could have took me down a while ago, and people probably wonder, well, Aaron, why don't you upload more? Why don't you upload more? Well, I have this problem. So some things that does confuse me is like I will get in a trash can, like a dirty LA trash can, and I can get out of it and it won't affect me. That side of the OCD doesn't bother me. But some stuff just gets so bad I can barely leave the house. And I encourage a lot of you guys who have this problem ever to not stop and never give up. You shouldn't be afraid to express your problems either about this, because I used to be scared to tell anyone about it because I was afraid about what they're going to think of me. At least 30,000 of you guys are going to see this, so